So all nicely sprayed white, as you can see just in there, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, we've done a good enough job that when we unmask, it's going to be all nice and perfect. So I'm just very carefully removing the masking tape. Right, you should never sort of just rip it off. Never do that with masking tape. We don't want to sort of accidentally rip up any sort of paint. Right, so I'm just pulling that up very slowly. Let's get this one at least completely up, and we can sort of show you the end result. There we go. Hopefully you're sort of seeing. I've just noticed there is like a little bit of an overspray just on there. You might be able to just see that there. No big deal. We might actually be able to rub that away. I just want to get the rest off around this one at least. There we go, nice and slow. So looking at that, looking all rather good. I'm just going to get out a cotton wool bud. Alright, I'm just going to make it a little bit moist, because what's potentially going to happen here is we've got this little bit of a, bring you in like really close, you could just see this little bit of a white bit here, maybe just didn't quite mask that bit up a bit. If we rub at it just a bit, we should hopefully be able to get this up. There we go. Just rub that. Oh no. There we go. Hold on. It's more of a something sticking out just there. Maybe it's a little bit of leftover masking tape or something. There we go. So that's gone. Basically, with a cotton wool bud, you've got to think about different drying times. The actual spray work that we've done, all this grey, has had time to dry, properly go rock hard and cure, right? So it's a lot more harder and rock hard. Plus, you know, if you know your paints, the Mr. Hobby colour range does dry to a very sort of nice hard sort of satin sort of finish, whereas Vallejo dries to a matte finish, and the Vallejo has just been sprayed down. It's not, I mean, it's touch dry, but it's not properly cured and gone rock hard and had like 24 hours to properly dry. So if we rub at it, we're going to rub away the white paint first, because it's not fully dry, gone cured, knowing we're not going to wipe away the grey paint because, you know, it's had time to cure, and the Mr. Hobby colour range is more durable, shall we say, because it does dry to a nice glossy finish. So it's okay to just maybe rub out a little bit here and there, and if, say, you know, somewhere in here we've sort of missed a bit, getting out, you know, say a paintbrush, you know, maybe a little bit in there is just slightly missed. If you really want to go that far, get out a paintbrush, get out the white paint, and you can just brush paint the rest. So I'm going to unmask the rest of this. Just moved along a little bit with our model just here. What I've done is I've just masked up these leading edges. There's just along here and along here. And also on the underside. It's a little bit hard to see, but it's a slightly different colour. You can see a lot more clearly with our towel bits just here. Nice bit of a grey line just along there. That was actually a nice H337 by Hobby Colour. Really nice matching colour. It's just one of those little sort of details, so to speak. Next up, what I want to do is sort of like a nice natural metal finish just at the back before we actually seal this in with a gloss coat. Also, just to note, around the leading edges of our wheel well doors and everything, you've got that sort of red sort of trim on there. Don't bother painting that yet. I want to get a gloss coat on there. We'll explain all that later. So first off, spraying natural metal finishes. Absolutely love this stuff by the Mr. Metal color range. I'm going to be using 214, which is dark iron. Really nice color, really nice product. I mean, you just can't beat this stuff when it comes to natural metal finishes. However, I have found that doing whole models in natural metal finishes with this stuff, it's just too sort of a bit of a pain, so to speak. But doing little things like the exhaust cans and stuff, absolutely perfect. So first off, our air pressure needs to come down to maybe about 10, maybe 12 psi. So I'm just getting that about right. It's got to be nice and low. This stuff is lacquer based. Because it's lacquer based, it is rather thin, evaporates really quickly. You don't need a lot of air pressure to blow it out, and it just goes down better with a lower air pressure. Make sure you give it a good shake and get all the sediment off of the bottom, and we can just pour this in completely and utterly straight and neat. So as I say, it's very sort of thin stuff, this is, so we don't need to do any thinning down, and we can have a nice low air pressure. Right, let's get a quick kitchen paper towel, because it normally does have a bit of a drip down the side. Right, we've got our nice resin exhaust cans here. Let's just clear the area. Just quickly put this model out of the way. Probably not a bad idea to put a kitchen paper towel down. It is lacquer based, so we're no longer using stuff like acrylics and that, so face masks on, extractor fans on, you know, all that sort of safety stuff, because it is quite potent stuff. Let's just test this, see how it's flowing through very nicely. I know it looks black, but this dark iron looks absolutely brilliant on the second stage. So we're just going to nicely do our usual. Let's get a light coat going on down on this. By the way, I mean, as you've already noticed, I've already primed our exhaust can here black. Actually, the camera might be better if we didn't use that white background. Already black. When it comes to natural metal finishes, having a nice black primer always goes down rather well. And the one thing is as well is contaminating it with, you know, your airbrush sort of needs to be nice and clean before using this stuff, because I do find that lacquer based paints and acrylic paints, they don't mix too well at all. So you want to make sure your airbrush is clean of any sort of acrylics you've been using, or even to actually have an airbrush specifically for and only for your say lacquer based paints. It's up to you, but I mean, a good clean should sort that out nicely. I'm just making sure I get in and around, inside, outside. Right, and this stuff, because it's lacquer based paints, it evaporates so quickly, it dries so quickly. I mean, just a quick blast of air and we can be putting on another coat and another coat, all very quickly. Alright, so that is being all sprayed. I'm just going to cut to air. Right, and you'll see it's looking very dark, very black. Alright, getting out a cloth. I've just got these scrap cloths that I've got here. Nice little sort of cotton cloth, should do the trick nicely. And what we can do is, although it's looking black, as you can see from this, slightly looking a bit misty, when we start to rub at this, this is sort of like where the magic happens. Just lightly rub at first. Right, we don't want to be applying hardly any pressure, and already you can sort of see that natural metal finish is just starting to come through. Alright, so I'm just lightly rubbing this all the way around, and you do start to see the magic happen. Right, there's like this very faint sort of dusty layer on top, and we're basically sort of rubbing away that faint dusty layer that's on top, and then it sort of reveals this lovely natural metal finish. Right, and what you basically do is you can sort of get a clean part once you've sort of got most of it off, and the more you sort of rub at it nice and lightly, the more this shines up and shines up into a lovely natural metal finish. Alright, so I'm just going to keep rubbing at this until we get it sort of nice and shiny.